Hmm. Smiling faces. Here it comes, you guys. Here it comes.
Yay.
It's loading for YouTube. If you want to put a post on let's smiling faces. Here it comes, you guys. Here it comes. All right. So if you want to put a post, Alicia, on Facebook, perhaps let people know where we are on the YouTube link instead, because we are live. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for your patience. Welcome to Friday Further X May edition, first Friday. So happy that everybody is here and able to join in with us. It's just that, like I said, place and space for us to be able to engage with each other. And we thank you to those of our guests that made it in from around the area of the U.S. And I don't know, do we have any Canadians today? Did we get anybody from Canada? No, I don't think so, right? Not today. Okay, so I think that was last in April we made it in there. So thank you to our, let's see, shout out to, is Kelly on 2021? There she is. There she is. Hello, hello. And shout out and congratulations to Kelly and Susan. Did Susan make it on? I think so. There you are. Congratulations. This is so exciting to meet some 2021s. And congratulations. I'm going to just give you the claps here for you. So exciting. Thank you again to our 2019s, 2017, 18, and 2013. Susan Pike. Where are you? Susan Pike. Nope, you're not on yet. Not just yet, but she did sign up. And so 2013, she beat us this time around. In 2014, thank you, Tom, for being here with us. So, I always look and see how far back can we get on our show for First Fridays, right? It's very exciting. Well, today we have two special guests, and one actually coming to us through a video, helping me with one of the games that we'll play today. It's just us, y'all, because we don't have our Facebook folks watching us just yet. It'll be posted to Facebook soon. So, just be patient, Facebook fam. Thank you for your patience. But our guest today that we do have on, we're going to have Jim Bentley help me out with a little game prep. We have Amanda Killo here, 2019 GTF. And we also have Ashley Lamb Sinclair, 2020 National Geographic Education Fellow. So thank you for joining us today. And thank you to our guests who are popping in from current and past GTFs and other fellows as well, education fellows. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off with just a little bit about what this episode is going to be focused on. We're going to focus on storytelling. And as you all have seen probably in recent days from National Geographic, Inside Nat Geo, they are promoting, and I'll promote it again, Inside Nat Geo this month, Storytelling for Impact Project, as well as the Both and Stories Project, where that allows educators to be able to tell their stories about the experiences they've had throughout this past year. And indeed, there are many, right? Yes, educators? Yeah. There are a lot of interesting stories. So we're going to get started with first, we'll talk to Amanda Killo, and then we're going to play a little game from Jim Bentley. And then we'll wrap it up with a new game that I created called Scatter Libs. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to move to our speaker view so that it allows us to be able to, see who's talking when. So I'd like to introduce Amanda Killo, 2019 GTF. I believe you traveled to the Arctic. Am I correct on that?
That is correct.
Yay. And where are you, Amanda, in the world right now?
I am in a little town outside of Fort Worth, Texas, called Hazlet Beach in Flower Mound, Texas, is a suburb of Dallas.
Cool. And where do you teach, and what grade level?
I teach grade, and I teach AP Human Geography and World Geography, and yeah, that's it.
It's so funny. Sometimes we think we're like, okay, wait a minute, what are all my preps again? And huh?
I just consider myself really lucky. I really only have the 2 preps, and they're very copacetic. So
okay. That's always nice. That's always good. Yeah. I feel the same way with my science classes. So I hear you're nominated for the Secondary Teacher of the Year. You're a finalist. Is that correct?
Yeah. In fact, the award ceremony is gonna start at 7. So
that's what's today. Oh man.
After this one, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we'll get you going. We'll get you going because I know you.
It is, I'm not working.
Okay.
It is what it is.
All right.
I'm honored.
And then you do have some prior accomplishments that I would like to highlight. The Tuscaloosa County School System Teacher of the Year as well. National Council for Geographic Education, which is one of my favorite organizations. Actually, it was really neat to kind of partner with them at a what was that? That was an NSTA conference, and then the National Council for the Social Studies Teacher of the Year as well. So, Amanda, what projects are your students currently working on? What did you try to get them to do in order to be more geographically inclined during this school year?
Well, we're kind of in our 3rd year of this project before my my epic adventure into the Arctic, and started a school garden years ago. School campus is it is brand new in terms of, it's 7 years old now, but we have inch screen TVs in our room that are our monitors, and it's very well put together. But what we didn't have was an outside.
Did it freeze for you too? Okay, just making sure. Don't worry, Amanda, we'll come back. Hopefully she makes it back. Okay, so that's how tech goes. I wonder if she's still talking. At least it's a decent face. That's all how I like. I'm always like, if I'm gonna do it, let it be good. Let it be good. You froze too, Tom? Oh goodness. Let's see here. All right. So I do know that Amanda focuses on the human journey and human geography. And so today she's actually going to be telling us her educational journey. We decided for this particular episode to have storytelling through 3 modalities, whether it was family, it was education, or the Nat Geo, and each of them a micro story. So nothing that's like too huge, but just to the point and succinct with focusing on, there she is. I think that's the iPhone. So focusing on just that particular topic. And I believe Amanda is going to tell us about her story from an education perspective, her education journey. Okay. Amanda, are you back with us?
Yeah, it literally just kicked me out. I have no idea. That was the 2nd time. So I'm on my phone now. I have better service here.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so my educational journey is kind of a strange one. Well, at least it is to me. I always knew I was going to be a teacher. And I always did that when I was a kid. I was always the teacher when we played school. And I have 2 brothers, a twin brother and an older brother. And I spent life traveling, not abroad. My parents couldn't afford that, but traveled to state parks. My mother was she was a phenom when it came to that. And I was embedded with National Geographic magazines everywhere. So I grew up with it, and my brother is almost a savant when it comes to details. So I always hated that because I'm a learner, and it's a good thing I'm a lifelong learner because I forget details all the time. So I always have to reread stuff and stuff. So I started off traveling with my family, going and seeing places, going and doing things, asking questions. When we asked questions, my mother would tell us to look it up, and that was before Google. And so we had an encyclopedia, and we actually had to look things up. My students don't even know what that is. So So at any rate, yeah, I just grew up that way. And then my first job was coach. I was a basketball player in high school. And so that came with this assumption that I would be great at coaching. I don't know about that, but so I started coaching and teaching, but I've always had world geography in my scope. I've always taught a world geography class. It wasn't something that was my passion when I started. I was an elementary ed major until one semester at A&M when I had a PE class of little kids, and I just thought, nope. So it takes special people. That's not me. So I said, advisor, what can I do to get out of this and not have to take another math class? And she was like, well, you do this. So I switched gears to history, and I took a couple of classes. In fact, the National Geographic, the NCGE president, Jeff Lash, was my professor at the University of Houston, Clear Lake.
Wow.
And that's where I took a GIS course back when it was bulky and it had to be on a certain computer and stuff, but I fell in love with it there. And then I started teaching freshmen, and I've never looked back. I've taught a couple of other classes, but I just absolutely adore the goofiness of freshmen. I mean, I might've been okay in middle school, but man, I love those freshmen. And so I've been teaching that ever since. I've done it for 19 years. I've taught AP Human Geography for almost 10 years. And so, but probably my biggest influence, my mother was an educator at heart, but she never worked in that field. But my biggest influence was my aunt. She is an English teacher, so I was an English minor. And we went camping with them. And so all my traveling, we always went with my aunt and uncle and their two boys. So I was just 4 boys, 1 me. So I kind of grew up like a tomboy, but yeah, so I learned a lot from her patience, her guidance, her taking her papers every camping trip we ever went on and grading papers. And so I totally get that. And so I was really influenced by her. And then I had one mentor that was in one of my APSIs over the summer when I started teaching pre-AP World Geography. That really kind of opened the door for me, because she just said the worst thing they can do, she said, just ask. The worst thing they can do is tell you no. And that has really driven what I do now. And I just need a bug. I just need somebody to say, oh, we want to do this. And I'm like, oh, let's contact some people. And that's exactly what we've done. Even this week, we have contacted some rainwater catchment. So our 3rd year of having the garden is talking about getting rid of our footprint of how much we irrigate at our high school. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to water grass. And I'm like, well, look, that's a couple teachers right there. So we are looking at tapping into our existing systems and catching our water that's coming off our big roof and putting it back into play with a new greenhouse and some other things. So, and an outdoor classroom with solar panel picnic tables and the whole 9 yards. So we're moving in that direction, and we've got the right people in place that are environmentally minded. And so, but yeah, so that's kind of, I'm naturally inquisitive. I'm naturally curious about stuff and other people. And if I don't know something, I'll look it up, so it's just kind of driven who I am as a teacher in the classroom, and how I tell my story, how I tell the story of geography to my students. Because if you don't tell it like a story, it's not that fun. So True. They don't get it as much.
Mm-hmm. True.
So that's me.
I love that. I love that. And I mean, do we remember the encyclopedias on the bookshelf that you had to go and look something up?
Yeah, we got that for Christmas. That was a present one year for Christmas from my grandmother, because we couldn't afford that. So it's like, oh my gosh, we got all this knowledge sitting on the bookshelf.
Yay, dictionaries. Like
I know, right?
The things we used to be excited about, I tell you. Now it's in our fingertips, right? We can clickety clack and get there. Well, that is fabulous. I just, I'm amazed, Amanda, at the, the effort that is put in to, get your students to where they need to be educationally, knowledge-wise, their research, and, making sure that they are participants in their community and, willing participants of geography, actually, too. So I like that Gen Geo thing that we got going on nowadays, right? So it's really cool. Well, we appreciate your time, and I don't want to take up too much of it. I know that you want to get ready.
I'm good.
Maybe you'll be able to stay and play one of the games with us.
Oh no, I'm staying on until I'm staying as long as I'm good. All I gotta do is flip channels and go to another channel and watch some video. It's not.
I love it.
I'm in a t-shirt. It's better than going to an awards banquet, so I don't have to dress up.
That's what I was wondering too. I said, now, is this going to be a virtual awards?
No, it's virtual. It's virtual. I just got to sit. I'm all by myself. I mean,
fabulous.
I am not complaining at all. I'm in it to win it. So don't worry.
That's the way to be. That's the way to be. I like that type of award ceremony. All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit and try to do some storytelling of our own. We had a great story from Amanda of her educational journey. And I mean, I remember, the going camping or going on road trips is one of the greatest stories you can talk about, Amanda, and how your experience has motivated you, and the people in your life has pushed you to go forth and forward, and who you knew you wanted to be an educator, which is amazing to have that already instilled in you and then be nourished by your family members. So kudos to you. And so I'm going to play a little video from Jim Bentley right now, just to switch gears to our storytelling based on animals in the wild. Okay. And some of you may have seen his post recently. It's interesting. We did the video before he posted his new background. I'm going to say that, but we did a little video, a storytelling based on an object that we photograph. And so one of the neat things we had in our GTF experience in Antarctica was we showed a picture to our guests and had them tell a story about it. And so Jim and I are going to give you an example of that in this short little video. And then I'm going to see if you all can tell a story about an animal. Okay, so here's that picture. Some of you have seen this on Facebook in his background. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way so you can see us. There. This is how we're going to be playing our game for our storytelling series. We're going to show you a picture. Jim has just shown me this picture, and I'm like, whoa, this lady right here, the Western kingbird, this little lady, she is feisty. And so she just saw Jim looking at her and was like, I know you're not looking at me. And then she decided to walk on air. And who knew that she could walk on air like this? It just looks like she's just prancing. I don't know, Jim, you tell us more.
She was stepping out for sure. Yeah, this Western kingbird was at the bug buffet. She was working down a drainage ditch, and all these tasty little morsel of bugs were just flying around, and she was eager to get some more snacks. So when I kind of got in front of her, kind of got in her way a little bit, she was not too appreciative of that. So I made sure to step back and let her go ahead and do her feasting.
Mm-hmm, because she was like, you better move out of my way, Jim Bentley. I'm trying to get my food today, my fill. This is the hometown buffet here, please. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. This is how the game works. You can tell as much of a story as you'd like to. You can make it fun, exciting. It's totally up to you. Name your character, and good luck to your storytelling. So let's see how you do. All right. So I'm going to share a picture with you all, and you can come up with a short story that goes along with this photo. And in honor of Whale Month also, so not only is it Storytelling Month, but Whale Month, I have a couple of photos from my own, one from Wilhelmina Bay and the other from around Orcas Island. And so the first picture is going to be of a humpback whale. What is the story, though, of this humpback whale is the question. What is our story? And you can come up with any any kind of story, detail, whatever, it is. Do you want some background information about what was happening here during this photograph? Or are you good? Decisions. What kind of story can we tell? Anyone willing and able? It's a humpback whale, by the way. Humpback whale.
All right, you want us to just chime in?
Yeah, any old story. What was happening? What was he doing?
Well, I'm assuming it's a girl, and she's asking her friends to check out and see if her butt looks big in this fin.
Mm-hmm.
She's going, girl, I just got this new barnacle on my fin. And
there it is, right there. I see it.
Let me ask if it, can you see it? Does it look good?
Yeah, I see it. It. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that story. All right, you ready for the next one? That's a good one, Amanda. I'm ready for the next one. That's fabulous. Yes, I'm clapping that one up. Thank you. All right, next photograph. Now you got to look close here. There's actually 3 orcas. Okay, there's actually 3 orcas. One looks like it's doing something. I don't know. Could be a baby. You tell the story. Who knows?
I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I think this is a family of orcas, and they are on vacation together, and they're looking for something fun to do with their little guy over there to keep him occupied during this youthful time in his life where he's very active.
Yes. I love it. That's a great story. Thank you, Susan. Yay. All right. Fabulous. And it was a pod, actually. It was a family. They were traveling together. So, all right. I love it. The barnacle on the butt and the family out, doing its thing, having their fun, right? It's family vacation time. Great. All right. So thank you for participating in our first game there. And I'm going to put it on over to introducing Ashley Lamb Sinclair, our National Geographic Education Fellow. And let's see here. Let me make sure you're on. Just want to make sure. I think you're there. There she is. Hello. How you doing? All right. Thank you so much for joining us. So Ashley is formerly, I'm just going to do the whole introduction here, formerly the Director of Advocacy and Community Empowerment at the National Excellence in School Leadership Institute, founder and former CEO of Curio Learning, winner of the grand prize in the Uber Girl Boss pitch, which I was like, what is this? What is Uber Girl Boss? She's a boss. Okay, that's cool. All right, I see you. And then 2016 Kentucky Teacher of the Year, contributing writer to the Atlantic and the Washington Post, and founded the Educator Accelerator School Startup. So Ashley, you got a lot going on. Where are you located right now? And what are you up to?
Well, thank you for that. I am in Louisville, Kentucky. So that is where I am in the world, which is awesome. Favorite city. And what am I up to? So, as you said, my fellowship with National Geographic was last year, and that has extended into a consultant role, now continuing projects that I began during my fellowship and doing other projects, including supporting the Both And story. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. And if anyone hasn't contributed yet, please do. It's a really beautiful project. So the main work that I'm doing right now is the 2892 Geographic Walk for Justice, which is, I feel like, just the coolest thing I've ever had the honor of, collaborating and supporting. The idea for the project came, my fellowship, I was tasked with looking for developing ideas around this concept of real-time learning, which really is just a theory, essentially, that National Geographic has all this cool stuff going on in the world, They've got all these amazing educators like yourselves. And how can we bridge the gap in real time and really start to connect the dots between that? And so then, of course, 2020 was a crazy world and everything got turned upside down. So it really just became, honestly, the most important thing I do is just listen. I spend more time stalking on Twitter than actually posting on Twitter, really just trying to like listen to what the conversations are, and then respond to those in thoughtful ways. And the most exciting of those responses is 2892, which really came because I live in Louisville, Kentucky. Obviously, we had the killing of Breonna Taylor here in our city. I went to, around June of last year, I went to a Black Lives Matter healing ceremony that was being hosted here. And actually, an educator, he and I taught in the same district together, but now he serves in the Metro Council. He was speaking at that event. And he basically schooled this crowd of people about the history of literally the spot where we were standing, which was an arena. It's a music arena. And I realized I've lived in Louisville since 2008. I've been a Kentuckian my whole life, and I didn't know 95% of what he was talking about. I had never heard it, and I taught students in this community, and I didn't include that in my classroom, in my curriculum. So that really kind of spawned a lot of conversations around what if we had community-led stories, through applying geo-inquiry through the lens of social justice. So essentially, having people like my friend and colleague Jacori, among others, around the country who have been doing work around justice and equity for decades. Let's give them a platform and a voice globally to explain what's going on in their community, and really stories that are mistold, misunderstood, but also misheard, and unrecognized. And so that is the work of 2892. 2892 meaning it's the continental distance across the United States. And so that's where the number came from. And the idea being that like the miles have to keep going, that we all of every inch of this country, every inch of this world is covered with stories that we need to make sure that we honor. And so that's what the project is really about. And right now we told the Louisville story with 3 amazing wayfinders here in Louisville who are artists and storytellers and amazing people I got to connect with, Lance, Marlisha, and Kenneth. And they have a beautiful story map, which you're welcome to see at 2892walk.org if you want to check it out. And currently, your colleague, Jerome Washington, who's a 2021 GTF, she is one of our navigators and leading a story in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Cool.
And we're also, Dr. Shanna Peoples is actually leading one in Amarillo, Texas. So close to you, Amanda. And we're also going to be adding a story in Tulsa. And then we're hoping at the end of this year to do New Mexico and Mississippi. So that's where we are.
So if anybody wants to become a wayfinder, is that possible to, that's just, like I said, it's a cool name.
Yeah. So,
how that works.
Yeah. So right now it's still really a pilot. Louisville was kind of, I presented this idea to Nat Geo Education and they were just smitten and like, go with it, go forth and prosper. And so we did Louisville, and that was really a lot of learning for me. And now we're in kind of pilot phase 2, where Jerome and Shanna are really leading those 2 stories. And we're kind of seeing what does that look like. And as we round out the year, my hope is that in 2022, we've built a toolkit for teachers and a toolkit for students. So the heart of this essentially being that this is not just something you do in your classroom with your students. This is something you do for yourself. You should go on a wayfinding journey in your own community in order to lead your students through wayfinding journeys in your classroom. And that is really the aha that I had, back last summer. And so we are building a toolkit for students and teachers, which we're hoping to unveil in the coming months. And then the idea is that in 2022, it would be something that anybody could sign up for, and that we just have this gigantic map of all these beautiful stories that are being uncovered. So that's the hope.
That's fabulous. That is fabulous. And if I put it in the chat, both for the both and story and the 2892 walk .org, put both those links in the chat for you. And of course, we'll provide those on Facebook as well, and on the YouTube links as well. So thank you so much. So now it's time to tell us your story. And I think which story you're going to do, the familial, right? Familial journey. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and take it away. I'll put myself on mute.
Well, this threw me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I call myself a storyteller in equal to the years, the 15 years I spent calling myself an educator. But this kind of like threw me for a loop because familial story, I mean, I don't know that you want all of that.
I get it.
Yeah, you don't need to know. However, I will say what's on my heart right now, and it really relates to 2892, especially right now in this moment, the saying, it takes a village. I don't think that is any more clear than right now, this moment in time, the idea of a village, the idea of community, the idea of like, where are we, who is around us, and what is the heartbeat and the humanity of what is around us. And so I actually, I am from a small town in Kentucky called Danville. And I don't go home a lot, probably as much as I should. I don't spend time with friends from growing up very often. But yesterday, a member of my village passed away. And it was a woman who was a mother. She was a mother to anybody. She was the kind, you had a headache, she took care of you. You were hungry, she made you a sandwich. She was that mom. And she really took me in a lot of ways. And I spent a lot of time, in her home because she was the mother of my friend. And she passed away. So I went home for her funeral, and it was this beautiful turning of events that was a surprise, which was they owned a lake house. And I spent summers at that lake house. I did not, my family was not very wealthy, to say the least. And I think it really meant a lot to me to spend time in homes that were very different from mine. And so I would spend summers at their lake house. Well, we go to the funeral, and after the funeral, my friend says, let's all go to the lake house in her honor. And so I spent the afternoon into the evening in this place that was just this idyllic spot from my childhood that meant so much to me that I haven't been to for 20 years, and we're toasting this woman who was like a second mother to me. And I just, with people who I haven't seen, and we're talking about our kids and our work and what our lives are like now. And on my drive back home, I just kept thinking to myself, like, what a delicious, beautiful moment in the midst of so much stress in our world, to have this just little moment with my village, and remember. I think I believe that things happen for a reason, and I think it was there to remind me, don't forget where you come from. And so that's my micro story.
I love that. And I think the world was listening to you, because you actually had this light just shine as you were telling the story. It was really interesting. I was like, okay, Earth. And so I love the village though, because it does take a village. And I think it's great for us to go back and to see where we came from. It's a lot of us maybe spent time with friends more than family, or we had different people in our lives that impacted us and showed us the way, and so they were integral in our development. And so I think it's important to empathize with our past selves, because we have to understand where we came from and how that drove us to where we are today. So thank you so much for sharing, Ashley. I appreciate that. And again, sorry for your loss as well, because that is the story. That's how it happened. So thank you again. We appreciate you being with us. And we're going to go ahead and jump into our next game. I think storytelling is so powerful. I think it doesn't matter how big, how long, how short, how funny, how sad, how just depends. But it's important to be able to say what's on your mind. And I think having our wayfinders, having our geographers, be able to tell their stories is impactful. And the more that we can get out there and show people that it's okay to say your story, the more we're going to be able to learn from each other, right? And build on our empathy. That's what we're trying to, understanding other people is the best thing in the world. All right, so we are going to round out, let's see, thank you, Ashley. So we're going to round out our last game here. It's a shorter, might be a shorter Friday Further X today, because of course we are in our last few weeks of school as well, some of us, right? And so we're trying to tread on down. You all probably get out much sooner than I do. I don't get out till June 16th. So anybody else June? I'm June. Yeah.
June 21st.
Ooh,
or maybe,
what?
Or who knows? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? You stop after a certain point. I could be wrong.
We're done on the 14th.
Okay, the 14th. All right, we're right there with us. We're right there with us. All right, so our next little game is going to be called Scatter Libs. And so our letter, I will choose a letter from Scattergories, and then we're going to fill in the hall passes. Okay, you've all played Mad Libs before? Perhaps, yeah. All right, so here we go. So we have our letter, by the way, is R. I'll share this, by the way, with everyone, because this is just a fun game to play online. I know we're tired of being online most of the time, but this is a fun Scattergories. So if you ever like Scattergories, you can play with your friends in other states if you want to, like I do sometimes. So our letter is R, and we're going to fill in the hall passes for excused, or should we do hall pass? Which one do we want? Which one would you like? You may need a piece of paper for this one, just so that you can write it down more clearly. I don't know, something like that. Let's do the hall pass. And the letter is R for the one on the left. And we'll do the letter E for the one on the right. That's going to be very hard. Everything has to start with the letter R on the left. Okay. E on the right. Cool deal? So I'm going to let you go ahead and write those down. I'm going to write mine down as well. Make sure I have my R and my E. Obviously, the date is the date, but your fill in the blanks have to start with those letters. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat just so that we remember. Okay. And I'll pause for a second. And let me know when you're ready. All right. Okay, do we need any more time? Any more? We're still writing, I think. This is serious. All righty, are we ready? Oh, no, not yet. They're still writing.
I have a rule clarification.
Yes,
Does the person's first and last name have to start with the same letter?
it should. Everything is an R.
How are you going to find somebody with E's for the first and last name?
Oh, I got it.
Really? Wow. Gosh. Okay.
It's a weird name, but
Oh, okay. God. Oh.
but I did get something. I did get something. Mhm.
I mean, I got something kind of, I guess. We'll see.
Okay. All right. All right. Are we ready? Who would like to share first? You want me to go? I can go. Want me to go?
Sure.
You go. No, somebody else go first.
Wait, does it matter if we do the left or the right?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Everyone you chose.
So Elaine will be, Elaine is too cool for engagement class. Instead, she will be attending elopement class,
Oh,
signed by Evita.
Evita.
I just cut the last name off because it's a one-word name, right?
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Tom. I like that. All right. Anybody else want to give it a try?
I could go.
Okay.
I'll do the E one.
All right.
Well, so I put Eli is too cool for everyone's class. Instead, he will be attending I did it wrong. I put Super Bowl, but that doesn't begin with an E. Why did I put Super Bowl? I must be very tired. I can't think of an E. Who has another E for the last one?
I just said electrical emergence. I don't know what that means, but that's just something that came in my mind as ease. I think Tom, yeah. Let's see. Anybody else? Any other ones? Nice try though, Susan. Nice try. Nice try.
I'll try the E.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Ernie is too cool for emotional learning class. Instead, he will be attending the elephant brigade.
Okay.
Yes.
This is true. This is true. I like it. I like it. All right. Anybody else? I'm going to do the R since it hasn't been done yet. Rufus Redu is authorized to be at the reptile store, I guess, instead of rubber class. Signed, Reginald. I don't know. These can be fun for your students, whatever it is, we have these kids on Zoom still. I think it'd be fun to make up stories, with them. So anybody else want to share before I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, I'll take on the R.
All right.
Rex. Hold on, let me read it again. Sorry, I got excited about Rex.
That's
Okay. Rex is authorized to be at Round Robin, which is a restaurant, instead of ribbon twirling class. Sorry, I cheated on the T. Signed. Who did I have there? Ryan. Sorry, didn't get too crazy with that. I love your Rufus though. That was good.
Ryan. I forgot about Ryan. My cousin's name is Ryan. I like
Yeah,
that.
my twin brother's name is Ryan. I couldn't get it out of my head. So.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
I like the ribbon twirling. That's good. That's the isn't there what's the gymnastics one? The ribbons? What's that? Rhythmic gymnastics. Thank you. Yes. Rhythmic gymnastics. Now rhythmic ribboning. We could have thrown that in there.
Oh, I know. I totally missed the boat on that.
Anyway, it's all good.
I needed a lifeline.
Yeah, it's
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. All right. Did anyone else want to share before we hop on off here? We're good? Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen. And again, those are helpful games, that you can play with your students or with your friends, whatever it is. And I'm going to go ahead and place this categories one, because that is a lot of fun with your homies and friends. Categories, that is the online categories that you can play if you share your screen. Anywho, did anyone else have any updates before I go into announcements with Alicia and Tracy, technically, right? All right. So we're going to go ahead. Tracy, did you want to shout out your, I know that you're going to be doing a Facebook Live, right?
Yes, kind of. It's not Facebook, but thank you so much for giving me a moment. Yeah. We are having a storytelling event. I know Stacy has come and joined us in the past. It's called Home Stories Cafe. We're connected with the Out of Eden Walk. Mm-hmm. It's May 16th. It's a virtual around the campfire, as Paul Salopek would say, storytelling event about places in our communities that feel most like home to us. Mm-hmm. But we now have a global audience. It's so cool. We're having someone come from Mauritius, and it's 4 a.m. there. A Nat Geo Explorer. We're going to have Paul Salopek, possibly from China. We keep it at 20 people or less so that we can answer his milestone questions. Who are you? Where are you from? Where are you going? And what is your place in your community that feels most like home? And it always turns into such a beautiful, like, heart sharing experience. It's, it's kind of like this. It's different than other Zoom meetings. It's like a coffee talk, bring a coffee, bring a drink, bring a snack, and just meet people from all over the world. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. I'll put the Evite in the, we do ask that you register ahead of time. I think we have 5 spots left, but if it's closed and you want to come, just give me an email and I'll open more tickets up for us.
Fabulous. Thank you, Tracy. That's awesome. Yeah. So that's May 16th?
May 16th, 7 Central time.
7 Central. All right.
Yeah, we'd love to have you guys.
Sweet. And then Alicia, did you want to give us another announcement? Did you have an announcement?
Yeah. So next week, if you check our social media platforms with the hashtag #ConnectingFurther, we're going to be having a storytelling week. So we felt like we want to connect with each other more as a GTF and fellow community. So check out our Twitter Twitter hashtags. And every day we're going to have little fun activities that are hopefully will take 60 seconds or less. But just as a way to help us connect further with each other as GTF fellows and just maybe build further community.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Appreciate those announcements. And we also have, I just want to remind everybody, don't forget to check out the Nat Geo, Inside Nat Geo for this month's storytelling. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the chat as well on Instagram. A great opportunity for you to be able to join the Storytelling for Impact project and your students. Actually, this is actually really for students to be able to get involved in storytelling. There's a structure, there's a sign up process. And so it'd just be a really neat end of the year type of project, and or to get them into their summer groove, because they need some type of activity to be able to do there as well throughout the summer. What better way than to help them work on strategies in order for them to be better storytellers. Also, the Both And project, I'm going to repost that inside of the chat as well. Please don't forget to tell your story on the Both And stories. I believe Abby is with National Geographic, GTF, or she helps us. She's our counterpart, I guess I could say, our new counterpart. And so she probably sent out an email to everybody, I believe, informing folks about that as well. So, and then as a little hint info, our Friday Further X on first Fridays during the summer months is going to be turning into a podcast, the FFX Summer Sizzle, I guess. I don't know. I'm still working on the name. We're still working on the name, Alicia and I. We're trying to, so the Summer Sizzle with teachers and, how we are, moving and transitioning throughout the summer months. And so it'll be in a podcast form throughout the summer. And then we'll bring back hopefully we'll bring back our our Friday Further X Zoom style during the traditional school year at the beginning. I guess, we'll do different, what's it called? Quarters, right? Different things, different quarter kind of thing. So in terms of making sure that we stay connected, hashtag connecting further, hashtag, and hashtag storytelling. Okay, so we want to make sure that we stay in touch with each other throughout the summer months. So please make sure to stay connected through our Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, all the things connection wise. Okay. Are there any questions for us before we hop off the line today? I'm going to end our, what's that thing called? YouTube. I'll end our YouTube live. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate you watching. I should have copied the stream link while I was talking and put that in the Facebook, but
I put it in there for you, Kelly.
You're fabulous. Thank you so much. That's what Alicia, she's vibing. We're vibing. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream from YouTube, but thank you so much for watching us if you're on YouTube live and or on Facebook watching from YouTube live.